I would like to involve you all in an experiment. And the experiment is like the question in front of you, ask an answer to someone, a stranger. When was the last time you cried in front of someone? When you heard this question, how does you feel like? Excited? I can see Toastmaster Shriram feels excited.
No, I was not listening to you. Now I read it.
Wow, that's great. No hands went up. And that's basically, that has to be because it makes sense. No one like to be vulnerable, right? It is least fun and most intimidating to asking someone when you cried in front of someone and giving answer of that question. But trust me, my friends, I am going to make sure and I will try to do best in my capacity to do this experiment whenever, and I will show how it is worth. And for that, I need to tell you a story. And you know, this story is about me and my wife. So I usually used to come to home after a long day at office. I was in sales at that point of time. And it was a long day. I just come back to home, start complaining about my day, how I am not appreciated enough, how bad is my boss. And my wife starts giving me reasonably good advice. Suresh, why don't you take your boss out on lunch? You both sit together, take time to know each other, and everything will be settled. And I started to getting upset on her that why she is not supporting me. She should be outrageous on my behalf. But at that moment of time, we both are not able to hear each other. And this pattern got stuck with me, and this was happening again and again and again. That took me to the friends, the mentors I rely on, the communication, the people who are in the study of communication, that why this is happening again. And I shared with them all the things which were happening. And they shared that this is the golden era in which we are living. At this moment of time, there is lots of development in neural images and communication. We are studying communication, right? Most of the people think that in a discussion, there is only one thing that is happening. But that's not the real case. There are more things in a discussion. There are different kind of conversation when it is there. Happening a discussion is there. And basically these conversations fall into these three buckets. Either it is practical conversation, or it is emotional conversation, or it is social conversation. Practical conversation is what it's really about. What is the practical situation, what is happening right there. When it comes to emotional conversation, it's about empathizing. It's about hearing the thoughts, what other person is saying. It's not about giving them the solution. It's about just listening to them, giving the shoulder to put their head. And social conversation is the conversation. It's about the how society sees us. It's about how we want to connect to the society. That is the social conversation. And they said that when the both people are not at the same conversation, they are doing different conversation, this is when people are not able to hear each other. And at that point of time, I got the idea that why me and my wife were not able to hear each other. my wife was giving a reasonably great advice to me. Instead of thanking her, I was getting upset with her. And I was also not connecting because I was doing the emotional conversation. So though both the conversation were legitimate, but they were not the same. That's why I was not able to connect with my wife. That was the reason. So here is the principle: whenever you are doing some conversation, recognize which type of conversation is that, and then matching to that conversation will connect to that person in a way that he will be able to hear you and will able to get you in a better way. And now the question come, how to do that? Is there any way that we can learn how we can understand which the kind of conversation is going on? For that, we need to ask the question which guide us that what is going on people's life. So there are few questions which I have written. This is one of the question: where do you work? Do you think this invite the thoughts and idea from a people? Probably this will tell you which place a person is working. Then there is next question: what do you love about your work? So this is the one question that may invite the thought from a person's perspective, that what they love about their work. Then there is another question: what did you learn there at high school? What did you learn there? What changed you at high school? So these are the questions which may invite the thoughts, which will open a person up and may able to share their thoughts how they are. So if a person is able to drive these conversation, he will be able to connect better to any of the person. And that's where we both, me and my wife, started connected to each other. She also understood that he is doing this emotional conversation, and she offered me the shoulder. So that's how the conversation start unfolding. Thank you so much